Welcome. I'm really glad you're here, and I mean that genuinely because pressing play on something like this takes a certain type of courage when you're already juggling everything. So, let me start with a question. When did your health become the last thing on your list? And I don't mean deliberately or lazily, but somewhere between the career demands, the family needs, the aging parents, the mental load of keeping everything and everyone together. Your health got quietly moved to the bottom. The thing you'd get to when things calmed down, when you had more time, when the kids were older, when work eased up. But here's the truth, things don't calm down, do they? The world right now is noisier, more uncertain, and more demanding than ever. And the cost of postponing your health isn't staying the same. It's compounding. Every year of poor sleep, elevated stress, muscle loss, and hormonal dysregulation makes the next year harder to turn around. Your health is not a luxury. It's the infrastructure that everything else in your life is built on. Your career performance, your relationships, your ability to handle pressure, your thinking, your energy, your resilience. And all of it runs on the foundation of your physical and mental health. And right now, for many people in their 40s to 60s are navigating this hormonal shift, that foundation is quietly feeling like it's cracking. So let me reframe something before we go any further. Investing in your health right now during this specific hormonal transition is not indulgent. It is the most strategic, high leverage thing you can do because someone who sleeps well, manages stress effectively, builds and maintains muscle, and understands their hormones, they don't just feel better, they think better, they perform better, they handle the uncertainty of the world better, they show up better for everyone who depends on them, and they age on their terms. That is what we're building here. Not just a better body, a more resilient, more capable, and more fully alive version of you. So if you press play today, I'm going to make a guess about you. You're someone who has always made things happen. Career, family, relationships, you've juggled it all, and there was a time when it mostly felt manageable. You were the capable one, the one who figured it all out, the glue that kept everything together, the one who kept going. But lately something has shifted, and no matter how hard you push or how much you cut back or how many things you try, your body just isn't responding like it used to. That energy that used to carry you through the full day has disappeared by the mid-afternoon. That weight around your middle is refusing to budge, and you're looking in the mirror and wondering, when did you stop recognizing the person looking back at you? And the most confusing part, you haven't really changed that much. You're not suddenly lazy, you haven't stopped caring, you're actually trying harder than ever. So why does everything feel so much harder? Here's the short answer. Your hormones have changed the rules, and nobody gave you the new playbook. Willpower, pushing through, calorie counting, long cardio sessions, that approach has an expiry date, and for most people it arrives somewhere in their 40s. Now, this is a hormonal shift. This is where the old strategies stop working and a smarter, more personalized approach becomes non-negotiable. I'm Pieta McCrum, founder of BODYbyPieta, and before I built this business, I spent 22 years in the TV and film industry. The last decade working for a global entertainment company as a senior director, managing big teams, working internationally. I was seconded between London and New York, and all the while building a family. And I know exactly what it feels like to be a high-achieving person with no margin left in the day. So in 2016, I walked away from that career because I wanted to build something that genuinely transformed lives. I started from nothing. I had no capital, no business background, two tiny children at home, and I built BODYbyPieta from the ground up because I believed people deserved better than being told to eat less and move more, better than being dismissed when they knew that their body was changing, and better than just trying to figure it out all on their own. So today I work with people globally across my 6-week group challenges, my one-to-one coaching, and my membership community. Everyone I work with is navigating the female hormonal shift. That's whether they identify as a woman or not. And that experience is at the heart of everything I do. I'm 48. I'm still navigating this journey myself. Stubborn belly fat, sleep disruptions, heart palpitations, hair shedding, and the frustration of everything just doesn't feel quite right. I've been there. So when I say I understand what you're going through, I really mean that. Not theoretically, personally. Now, my mission is simple. Help people 40 plus get stronger, gain clarity, and build resilience physically and mentally through strength training that builds and preserves muscle, through recovery that genuinely down-regulates your nervous system, through nutrition that supports your hormones, and through education about what's actually happening in your body, through healthy habits that stick, and through accountability and community, because you do not have to do this on your own. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening in your body, why nothing you've tried has worked, and the 3-step ignition method that genuinely changes it. Stay with me because by the end, you'll have a clear starting point and access to my 5-day reset reclaim challenge. You're not failing. Your body is trying to tell you something really important. And once you understand that, everything changes. Now, let me paint a picture of what your days might feel like right now. Night after night, you wake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, mind racing, running through everything and worrying about everything you can't control. By morning, you're running on fumes before the day's even started. You used to power through anything. Now you're on your 3rd coffee by 11 a.m. and it barely touches the exhaustion. At work, maybe your train of thought disappears mid-sentence. You're second-guessing yourself in meetings. Your brain isn't firing the way it used to. And that loss of sharpness frightens you. You used to be razor sharp, and then at home, you might snap at your partner or the kids over something really small and you feel awful about it. You just don't feel like yourself, and that's awful. You look at yourself in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. Weight around your middle, tiredness in your face, clothes that just don't fit the way they used to, and you're eating less, you're cutting carbs, you're being good, but nothing is shifting. And then underneath it all, there's this quiet, frightening thought, what if this is just the way it is now? Well, it isn't. Your body is sending you a signal to change course. And the people I work with who've learned to read that signal have transformed their bodies, their energy, their thinking, and their lives. Not because they're special, because they understood what was actually happening, stopped trying to do it alone, and followed a structure built specifically for the female hormonal shift and for building real lasting strength from the inside out. So this is Lucy. She's 45. She's a mum, solopreneur. She was juggling everything, just like many of you watching this. And when Lucy came to Body by Pieta, she was navigating perimenopausal weight gain. She had low energy and broken sleep. And then across the 12-week program she did with me, and across multiple 6-week challenges, Lucy has shifted a lot. In 12 weeks, she shifted 6 kilos of that weight, lost 26 centimeters all over. Her sleep improved, her energy came back, and she's lifting heavier weights than ever before. But here's what I love the most. Lucy felt guided, supported, and kept on track even when life got in the way. That's not just a physical transformation. That's what happens when you have the right structure and the right people around you. So let's keep going because I want to show you exactly why and how this transformation happened. So before I show you what's happening in your body, I want to take 30 seconds to explain what I do different from the fitness and wellness programs you may have tried before. Now, most programs give you a plan and then leave you to get on with it. Body by Pieta is built around 4 things that most programs simply don't deliver or they don't deliver very well. Personalization, so not a generic plan, but a structure that adapts to your body, your hormones, your lifestyle, and your specific stage of the transition. Education, you don't just follow instructions, you understand why. Hormones, cycle, sleep, nutrition. That knowledge is what makes change stick long after the program ends. A complete 360 solution. This is strength training that builds muscle, recovery protocols that downregulate that nervous system, nutrition guidance that supports hormones, healthy habits that compound over time, and all working together. A real accountability and community to support you, not just a Facebook group. But this is a genuinely supported space where people show up for each other, celebrate wins, navigate the hard moments, and stay consistent because they're not alone. And this is why my members stay, not just for weeks, for years, because it works and because it becomes a way of life. So let's have a look at what's actually happening in your body. The whole picture first, because once you see how this all interconnects, everything then makes sense. I call this the perimenopause loop, and chances are you're somewhere inside of this right now. Your hormones shift. Your stress response becomes dysregulated. Cortisol fires at the wrong time. Sleep is then disrupted. Brain fog sets in. Hunger hormones go haywire. You reach for sugar and caffeine and energy crashes. Mood follows. You skip your morning workout and you stop building and preserving that muscle that keeps your metabolism resilient and your brain strong. The weight gets stuck. confidence drops, stress rises, you hit the screw it button and the loop starts again. And this is not a willpower problem at all. This is your hormonal cascade, and every single part of this is addressable. Sleep disturbances affect up to 90% of people going through perimenopausal transition. That's 90%. So if your sleep is broken and your energy is shot, you are not alone, and it is absolutely not random. It is the first domino, and it is where we start. Okay, so we're going to zoom in on 3 hormonal players at the heart of this loop. Here we go, 3 hormones, one perfect storm. Every symptom you're experiencing makes complete sense once you understand this. First of all, estrogen, which does an extraordinary number of jobs: brain function and memory, body temperature, serotonin and dopamine for mood and motivation, insulin sensitivity, why fat is storing differently around your middle, even when your diet hasn't changed, and cardiovascular function too. So that's why some people experience those heart palpitations that feel alarming, but could be directly linked to hormonal changes. In perimenopause, estrogen doesn't just decline, it actually swings erratically before eventually dropping. So you feel it everywhere. Then we have progesterone, your calming hormone. This is your body's kind of natural tranquilizer. And it kept your nervous system steady, helped you sleep deeply, and buffered you against stress. In perimenopause, it's often the first to decline. So when it drops, that buffer disappears. So when you wake at 3 a.m. with your heart racing, that often is linked to low progesterone. Not just stress, not just anxiety, progesterone. And then we have cortisol, which is not the enemy. We need it. It gets us out of bed. It gives us focus. It helps us perform. But the problem is that cortisol is at the wrong time, without that hormonal scaffolding that estrogen and progesterone used to provide. So cortisol should rise in the morning and then fall through the day. But under chronic stress, that rhythm breaks. It stays elevated when it should fall. At night, it might surge. Your nervous system stays switched on when it desperately needs to switch off. And chronically elevated cortisol tells your body to store fat around your abdomen as a survival mechanism. So there you have 3 hormones all shifting simultaneously sometimes. No wonder nothing felt right. And here's what ties it all together: muscle. Muscle is metabolically active, it's responsive to your hormones, and research shows it acts as an intelligent organ that communicates directly with your brain. So building and preserving muscle during this transition actively offsets cognitive decline. It protects your metabolism. It builds resilience. So building it is not vanity, it's your most powerful long-term health investment. So you've tried all the things, and here's why they haven't worked. And it is not your fault, okay? So first of all, calorie restriction. Eating less when you're stressed and sleep deprived is just another stressor. Cortisol spikes, your body holds on to fat tighter, and during this hormonal transition, eating less often makes things worse. More cardio. Your exhausted nervous system doesn't need more depletion. It needs more smart strength work that builds muscle and recovery protocols that actually downregulate your system. Then we have the fitness apps, the random YouTube videos. Now look, they work for 2 weeks, then life happens and momentum collapses. And because apps don't give you someone who knows your life, adapts when things get hard, or holds you accountable and educates you about what's happening in your specific body, that's not your failure, that's a system design failure. And then we have our supplements. The right supplements can genuinely support your process of going through the transition, but be product aware, and not all are created equal. Supplements support the foundations. They're never there to replace them. Then we have HRT. I'm pro HRT. It can ease symptoms, improve sleep, and support mood, especially during this transition. But research consistently shows that people who combine HRT with the right lifestyle foundations see dramatic better outcomes than those relying on HRT alone. Okay, so the foundations what make it work better. This is Rebecca. She's 58, mum, actor, business owner, and she came to BODYbyPieta having tried all the usual routes. And here's what happened when she stopped doing what wasn't working and started doing what was. And over the course of a year, which is realistic, sustainable change, she went from a size 14 to a size 10, and she's stronger and fitter than she's been in years. She doesn't ache. She has the energy she describes as enabling, which is energy that genuinely changes what's possible in her day. And my favorite thing Rebecca said, this is now just how I live. It's not a diet, it's not a short-term fix, it's a complete lifestyle shift with support. And that is what we're building. That is exactly what I'm about to show you how to do. So now that you understand why nothing has worked, and here's what actually does. The three-step ignition method. Three interconnected steps that work together to refire your metabolism, restore your sleep, reset your stress response, and rebuild the strength and resilience your body has been asking for. The magic is combining all three, not picking one. So step one, sleep ignition. Not generic sleep hygiene. These are targeted protocols for the specific reasons people wake during this hormonal transition. So cortisol timing, temperature regulation, progesterone decline. Sleep is the foundation, and when sleep improves, everything becomes easier. Research shows improving sleep quality alone produces noticeable improvements in how your body feels and functions just within 2 to 3 weeks. Step two, stress ignition. Not just meditate more, a specific approach to bringing cortisol back into its natural rhythm. So breath work, strategic movement, nutrition, timing, mindset tools. These are all designed to interrupt the cortisol cycle and include recovery protocols that genuinely, as I said, downregulate the nervous system. Your body needs true recovery, not just rest, but active downregulation. And step three, strength ignition. This is building and preserving muscle, which is the single most powerful intervention during this hormonal transition. It rebuilds your metabolic engine, increases insulin sensitivity, protects your bone density, which can drop about 1 to 2% year on year after 40 if you do nothing. It improves sleep, it reduces cortisol, it clears brain fog by increasing blood flow to the brain. Supported by nutrition, which is rich in protein, fiber, healthy fats, omega-3s. 2 to 3 30-minute sessions per week, progressive, structured, and synced to your cycle. That's it. But here's what makes it real, and here's what makes it different from everything you've tried before. This is not 3 isolated steps. This is a complete 360 solution: strength training, recovery protocols, real nutrition, not restriction, hormone education, sustainable habit building, and genuine accountability from someone who knows your life and a community of people living the same journey. So this is what I focus on across all my programs, my 6-week group challenges, my one-to-one coaching, and my membership community, because transformation doesn't come from just doing one thing well in isolation. It comes from doing the right things consistently and layering them over time with real support and real understanding of what's happening to your body. Now, I want to be honest with you because you deserve honesty, not hype. Everyone's journey is different. Some shifts happen quickly. Within days, people often notice sleep improving slightly or morning energy lifting a little. And those early signals matter enormously because that's your body saying, thank you. That's proof it's responsive. But real lasting change, the kind that shifts body composition and rebuilds your metabolic engine and genuinely transforms how you feel, that takes weeks, often months. And that's not failure, that's real. That's biology working in your favor when you give it what it needs consistently. What tends to happen is sleep improves first, the 3 a.m. waking eases, brain fog starts to lift gradually but noticeably, energy returns, mood stabilizes, strength builds, and you feel that shift, that sense of coming back into your body, back to yourself. And over time, with consistency and patience, body composition shifts too. So one thing I want to name specifically is self-compassion, which is not optional here. Shame and self-criticism spike cortisol. They literally work against everything you're trying to achieve. So being kind to yourself is part of the BODYbyPieta process. That's kindness. Is not a weakness, it's medicine, and your body is listening to every message you give it. So let's start sending it the right ones. This is the lovely Sharon. She's 58, she's a mum, a long distance runner, and no stranger to physical challenges. But what Sharon describes goes beyond the physical. She talks about showing up on the mat and knowing that everything else is taken care of, the strength work, the conditioning, and something she names specifically, emotional regulation. Because that's the piece most programs miss entirely. It's not just about the body, it's about building a version of yourself that is genuinely more resilient mentally and physically, and identifying with that, stronger inside and out. And that's what Sharon found at BODYbyPieta, and that is exactly what the 3-step ignition method delivers. Not just a stronger body, a stronger you. So before your next step, here's something you can do today, like right now, because momentum starts before everything is aligned. Number 1, protein within 30 minutes of waking. So not coffee first, protein. 30 to 40 grams, which will stabilize blood sugar, prevents the morning cortisol spike, it supports muscle preservation and sets your energy up for the day. It also supports better sleep that coming night. Number 2, 10 minutes of natural light before 10 a.m. So no sunglasses. This simple app resets your circadian rhythm. It's the foundation of your sleep-wake cycle, and research confirms that your circadian disruption accelerates during this hormonal transition, and morning light is one of the most direct and completely free ways to recalibrate it. Number 3, brain dump before bed. Write everything spinning in your head down, not to solve it, just to offload it. Your nervous system can't wind down when the brain is still processing, and this one habit alone has reduced nighttime waking for many of my clients. These 3 things won't fix everything, but they will show that your body will respond, and that change is possible, and that is exactly where it starts. So if this training has felt like I was speaking directly to you, then I want to invite you to take one small, low-risk step with me, the Reset and Reclaim Challenge, 5 days, designed to show you, not just tell you, that your body can change when you apply the right approach, and you won't be doing it alone. 5 days, 3 short progressive strength workouts, so no gym, no experience needed, a simple meal framework that supports your hormones, your cortisol and your sleep, a daily healthy habit to try on for size, 1 live coaching call with me, plus a bonus resource on sleep or stress, whichever you feel that you need most right now. So this is structured, it's supported, it's science-backed, it's built specifically for your changing body and your real life. So this is the link below. Click it, add your email, and I'll take it from there. You don't have to figure this out alone anymore. So I know that you're tired. I know you've tried things and been let down, and I know that hope can feel dangerous when you've been disappointed before. But here's what I know to be true. From 10 years of working with people through this transition and from living it myself, this is one of the most powerful investments you will ever make in yourself. Not just for how you look or feel today, but for the decades ahead, for your brain health, for your bone strength, for your resilience against whatever the world is going to throw at you, and for your ability to show up fully at work, at home, in your relationships, in your own life. The people who commit to this process don't just lose weight or sleep better. They become a stronger version of themselves, more capable, more resilient, more present, and they stay, not because they have to, but because this becomes a way to live. And that is available to you, not someday, now. And you don't have to do this alone. That's why I'm here, and that's what my programs deliver, and I'll see you soon.